Welcome back to Bow News Network. We are actually tracking Hurricane Grace at this time as it progresses towards Cancun, Mexico, and the Yucatan Peninsula. And we're also taking a closer look today in our latest Bow News headlines report, taking a look at Tropical Storm Henri, which is actually in the Atlantic Ocean, actually churning away, possibly in possibly impacting the northeastern coast states such as Connecticut, Massachusetts, potential of bringing a significant amount of rainfall and torrential rain as it makes its way across the along the mid-Atlantic coast. So if you're new to this channel, please by all means go ahead and smash that like button and also subscribe for the latest bouts of the weather reports. So we're actually taking a closer look at Tropical Storm Hurricane Grace as well as Tropical Storm Henri. But first, let's take a closer look at Hurricane Grace as it makes its way through the Caribbean Sea. It was only a few hours ago it severely impacted the Cayman Islands, bringing a significant amount of rain as well as strong winds. As soon as it started to exit the area around Jamaica, it went into a reorganization pattern and intensification, and it actually got upgraded to a hurricane status. So we're really tracking this storm. We can clearly see that organization of the system. Even the outer squalls are actually impacting the region of the northern coast of Cuba, and we do see that from this water vapor channel 8 from the GOES 16 satellite imagery that the outer squalls with rainfall are extending quite a bit away from the center of rotation. If we actually go to the infrared scan, we can actually see quite a bit of organization as far as the severity of the more heavy thunderstorm activity on the northeastern side of the storm, and they extend almost all the way up to the southwestern coast of Cuba, and it's still impacting the Caymans. If you actually can see the Caymans to the right, this system is very, very wide, and the outer band squalls are starting to impact the Yucatan Peninsula. It is currently packing winds of about 80 miles per hour and moving west-northwest at 16 miles per hour. The position based on the Hurricane National Hurricane Center at this time is 19.7 north, 83.7 west, and as we continue to monitor this system, we anticipate that it could upgrade itself to a low-level Category 2. A Category 2 hurricane would be 96 miles per hour up to 110 miles per hour, and then right now it is at 80 miles per hour. There is a possibility it could become a Category 2 over the next few hours as it makes its way closer and closer, impacting, looks like it's going to impact very, very close to San Miguel de Cozumel, as well as Cancun, Tulum, the Yucatan Peninsula region, quite possibly in the next few hours. We do anticipate some intensification, which is typical of these storms as they get closer and closer to the Gulf of Mexico with all of the significant warm water. They're feeding off of that energy, organizing itself. A lot of times these systems will actually break down the eye wall and reconstruct as it makes its way closer and closer into land. So we'll continue to monitor this system. If we take a look at its path, we can actually see that a hurricane watch and warnings are set up for Yucatan Peninsula, and it's anticipated to be downgraded to a tropical storm possibly around midday on Thursday, but will re-emerge into the Gulf of Mexico, the southwestern section of the Gulf of Mexico, and actually re-intensify into a hurricane once again and start impacting another section of Mexico. So the residents of Mexico are going to actually get a 2x dose of significant hurricane force winds as well as tropical force winds as this system crosses the Yucatan Peninsula into the region of the Gulf of Mexico, re-intensify. The sea surface temperatures at this particular time are close to be right now are close to be 83 to 84 degrees Fahrenheit. So there's more than enough ample energy for it to actually use that as a source of really powerful potential energy to develop and reorganize itself into a hurricane once again on midday Friday as it makes its way towards another coastline of Mexico. This system is the pressure right now is about 992 millibars. We anticipate that there'll be a small drop in the pressure as it intensifies and approaches the coast of the Yucatan Peninsula. There's been a big push for residents in Cancun to get out of the way of this hurricane as it approaches the area. So the system is going to be impacting severely in only a matter of a few hours as far as severe, very, very strong hurricane force winds with significant winds as well as potential strong hail, locally damaging winds as well as potential strong hail in the region. So we're going to continue to monitor this system. We can clearly see from the satellite imagery that it's only a few hours off the coast of the Yucatan Peninsula. The outer squalls are starting to impact the region, and we do anticipate that this is going to be a significant hurricane impacting the region, even though it's a Category 1. If it's between a Category 1 and 2, this is severely damaging winds, potential to damage a lot of buildings and structure in the region and cause significant bodily harm. So all residents should be taking as many precautions at this time in preparation for landfall of Hurricane Grace. If we take one quick look at Hurricane Henri, we can actually see what's actually happening with Tropical Storm Henri, soon to be upgraded possibly around early morning on Friday to a hurricane based on the National Hurricane Center. We anticipate that it will become Hurricane Henri sometime in early Friday. And as it makes its way, the main concern at this particular time is the impact of the outer squalls along the Carolinas, as well as into Virginia, as well as Delaware, as well as Connecticut and Massachusetts, as it makes its way along the coastline, the Atlantic coastline states. So we're actually looking at potentially two hurricane systems impacting the east, impacting the east section of the continental United States and the tropics at the same time. So we're going to be continuing to monitor the systems as they make their way through. Fred at this time, remnants of Fred, which is actually impacting the region of Pennsylvania and New York at this time, are bringing significant thunderstorms as well as other remnant activity of tropical storm in the region. So we're going to be monitoring all three systems as they make their way and impact the tropics as well as the continental United States going forward. Let's just take a closer look at exactly where we believe the eye of Hurricane Grace is, and this is approximately 200 to 300 miles off the coast of Playa del Carmen, Cancun, San Miguel de Cozumel, as well as Tulum. And this is all very, very prime tourist area, and we anticipate that many of the residents are trying to get out of the way, possibly heading more inland or possibly heading towards Quintana to get away out of the more heavy torrential rain, as well as the core of Hurricane Grace as it makes its way towards land on the Yucatan Peninsula. With respect to temperatures across the continental United States, we are still seeing temperatures in the Central Plains and North Dakota, South Dakota into the mid-90s, low 100s. We are still dealing with quite a bit of wildfire risk. the Dixie Fire in California has become one of the record largest wildfires ever recorded, and actually the air quality in the region of Nevada and Utah as a result of the wildfires in California have significantly plummeted as a result of the haze and smoke and debris from the wildfires in California. We salute all the firefighters who are continuing to put their lives on the line to fight these wildfires all throughout the Southwest and the Northwest. And we're actually seeing more wildfires in the region of Washington and Oregon, California, and also Arizona has been dealing with wildfires. So there are quite a few states in the drought monitor region that are dealing with severe wildfire risk too. So as we see more on the northeast side of the country, which has become more inundated with heavy rainfall, thunderstorm activity, and potential tornado advisories as a result of remnants of Fred, we do see that contrast between significant drought on the southwest region of the United States and the northeast at this particular time. And as this system interacts as Hurricane Grace interacts with the area of Yucatan Peninsula, we can clearly see that the sea surface temperatures of the Gulf of Mexico at this time are hovering around 85 to 86 degrees. So that is actually well above the 80-degree parameter for when hurricane season is usually initiated. But we can actually clearly see that the Gulf of Mexico is going to be providing ample and sufficient energy for these systems to reorganize, reintegrate, declassify, disintegrate, and restructure themselves into even more powerful systems as Hurricane Grace makes its way on a west-northwest path, moving at 16 miles per hour towards the Yucatan Peninsula. With respect to Tropical Storm Henri, winds are 70 miles per hour, moving west at 9 miles per hour, and the location of Henri at this particular time is close to 29.9 north, 67.6 west. So we'll be continuing to monitor Hurricane Grace as it makes its way through the area of the Caribbean Sea, leaving behind a significant amount of flooding in the region of Jamaica, Haiti, Dominican Republic, Puerto Rico, and of course, most recent has been the Cayman Islands. And the system, is we can clearly see, is just reorganizing itself and preparing for even further intensification, most likely, as it makes its way towards the Yucatan Peninsula, impacting the tourist regions of beautiful Cancun, Cozumel, Tulum, and all of the different tourist areas along the Yucatan Peninsula. We do hope that as many people as possible will be able to get out of the way of this Category 1 hurricane, with possible intensification even further before direct landfall. And we do know that surge will be a significant issue as it makes landfall, along with possible water spouts or even tornadoes that may touch down as it makes landfall. So this is definitely a system that needs to be taken very, very seriously. And keep in mind too, as it quickly skirts along the Yucatan Peninsula, it will re-emerge back into the Gulf of Mexico and re-intensify, most likely into a hurricane very shortly after re-emerging back into the Gulf of Mexico. It will, as it goes over land, it will weaken a little bit to possibly tropical storm status, and then re-emerge into the Gulf of Mexico as a hurricane once again, to impact another coastline of Mexico. So we will continue to monitor this system along with Tropical Storm Henri, which may be upgraded to a hurricane also very, very shortly, as it takes a path that's almost parallel to moving along the Atlantic states. Well, thank you for tuning in to Bound News Network. We do appreciate all of our subscribers out there, and of course, please share this video with friends and family, especially those who may be impacted by the storm. We wanted to provide you with the latest updates so that you'll be able to stay above and ahead of the storm, so that you can make the best preparations for you and your family and friends into this hurricane season. And as always, always remember to bow to the weather, and we do appreciate tuning into Bow News Network. Have a great day.